Hi, I'm Lola. This is The Sims 4, and today you will be watching me make a half-empty build. Talk about clickbait intros, but that is actually true. So on the left-hand side where there is the red brick building, I actually do leave that whole thing empty. I did that mostly because I didn't know how to fill this whole thing with a base game gem. Now I could have done it. That's not technically an issue, especially now that I've been doing a few of these speed builds for the last few weeks, and I am a lot more comfortable with base game than I was when I first started. But I figured why not try something a little bit different and leave it for later. So if you watch the previous video, or if you're watching this way into the future, any other video, what I am currently doing is I am refreshing base game so that I can start the Legacy Pack Challenge, where the first season or the first generation will be a base game only playthrough. And once I get to the next pack, which I believe is Outdoor Retreat, I'll enable all of the packs. And the reason I'm doing this is to get familiarized with base game. I never really liked it, even 11 years ago when it first came out. I always found it to be quite limiting. And granted, they have added a good chunk of stuff to it over those 11 years. So that is why I am looking forward to kind of not rekindling, re familiarizing myself with it. That's that's what I'm trying to say. Anyways, this build is divided into four separate sections. There is a downstairs gym on the right hand side in the white building, and upstairs is on the right hand side in the white building is actually a one bedroom apartment. Whereas on the left hand side in both of the red buildings, in just the red building, um I left that empty. I was thinking that once I have the rest of the packs, I can maybe do like a yoga studio on the upstairs level. And I don't know what to do on the bottom level. As I was doing a little bit of research by watching a few other creators do base game only builds, I believe a good chunk of them actually add a pool to to the base game gyms, which is actually, I believe, there is a pool in the Oasis Spring gym, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I looked at that one actually, but so we can maybe do that. I'm not sure. So I figured I will be revisiting this build in the future. That was it. That's essentially the plan. So let me tell you about the build that actually did happen. So like I said, this will be a one bedroom apartment, and with those big windows in the front, for whatever reason, when I was building it, it kind of gave me like a Parisian French vibe. I'm not sure what that was about. Actually, yes, I do. This is a New Orleans inspired world, which is also a French area of the US. So maybe that's what it was about. A little bit, honestly, a little bit random, nevertheless, but I do think it's a cute little cozy apartment. I think once I enable all the packs, maybe I can move someone in here and they run a yoga studio or the gym downstairs. Or maybe this is just an empty apartment and it's not that deep. Oh, yeah. But I would be curious what you think should happen here. Definitely let me know. Let's see. What else is there to say? So the apartment is a little bit dated, but I try to make it a little bit kind of eclectic, not necessarily cluttered, but definitely just kind of homey. Basic but homey. There will be a lot of bookcases in the living room. I believe there's going to be a chess table or maybe an easel. For what it's worth, I am doing this voiceover, I think, for the fourth time. I was just about to export the video, and I do want to listen to the videos one more time in case I accidentally forgot to bleep out a curse or something like that, or if, maybe it just wasn't my best take, so maybe we I can redo a section or something like that. And honestly, it was just very choppy. I paused a lot. I said an obnoxious amount of time, which I then went in and kind of got rid of them. But listening back to it, it was just very awkward, and I think I can do better, which is why I don't remember exactly what happened, and that is my bad. I should have previewed this a little bit, I suppose. And that's all right. We'll get through this. It's not that the end of the world. I was imagining that maybe this is for like a young writer type of apartment, hence a lot of the bookcases and also the desk. And yes, there's an easel. I knew it was one of those. I was imagining putting a because I knew what the layout looked like. I just don't remember all the details, and I'm still getting used to kind of talking and thinking at the same time. It's it's getting better, I'll tell you that much, but I'm still a newbie nevertheless. So like I was trying to imagine the layout, but at the same time, I knew that maybe the chess table wouldn't fit here, but maybe I made it work. So turns out it was just an easel. And the is that a wellness skill actually in the base game? Because I thought that actually came with the spa day pack that gave us yoga. And then, mm, oh well, doesn't matter. I'm not gonna try to think even out loud about this. What I will tell you is that unfortunately, the apartment takes up most of the speed build, so I suppose this was slightly bait and switch in terms of movers and shakers. There's not that much movers and shakers here, is there? So I do apologize for that, but only a little bit. Like I said, I'm struggling with the base game. This is a whole learning process, so be gentle on me. But do give me feedback about what you think about the overall build. I would love to know that. That's for sure. And and I do think that it came out quite well. In terms of the structure overall of the building, as you saw, I kind of kept the red and white look. I just instead of it being split on the top and the bottom, I kind of split it left and right so that they're kind of unique buildings in and of themselves. And I think it came out quite well. I do fidge around with the windows quite a bit. I believe I come back to them one more time towards the end a little bit. And I do think, you know what, the more I look at it, the the yoga studio on the right hand side right here would make so much sense. I wish I honestly maybe what I should have done is make a faux yoga studio and just added kind of like those smaller what are they called? Smaller runners, like the small rugs that are just kind of rectangular, kind of like we often use them as doormats as well. I know that people did that as a trick way back when we only had base game. I was watching some early videos from I believe Simlicy? No, Deligracy. And I think she did it by a couple of pools, like, it's not an actual towel, but a faux towel. So I think it could also work as a yoga mat. And I do add right there two public bathrooms. I do not keep public showers in here. I was thinking that this is more of just a very small, maybe a family owned gym that it's not completely overrun with machines or anything like that. If I were to do this again, I would probably make it a boxing gym on the right hand side and an equipment gym on the left hand side, and then a yoga studio upstairs. But as I'm recording this, we already had the trailer for the newest expansion pack, which is an expansion upon the outdoor retreat experience, from what I can tell. If I sound disappointed, it's because I am. But it hasn't been released yet. But in the trailer, there are weights. and there are exercise bikes. So I actually haven't decided whether or not I'm actually buying that pack or if I'm possibly boycotting it. I don't really know what what's going on in terms of the community and me. And I'm also hesitant to talk about this as well. And it's a complicated subject, and I don't know what my overall feelings about any of the situation is, to be honest, which is why sound so hesitant. So I'm just gonna move on, and then maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. I am truly undecided, and I'll just leave this at that. But with that said, we still have a little bit under 3 minutes with the speed build. So here I'm just kind of walking around and finishing everything up. As you saw, like the back didn't have the full facade or the brick facade, yeah, in it, and the windows were still mishapped. So here the windows are in the front on the right hand side in the white building. They're still a little bit all over the place, and I do believe I cleaned them up. And I believe I go back to, yes, exactly. And I go back in the, sorry, I go back to the back of the building, and I also redo the windows right there, I believe. Yeah, okay, good. I'm not a complete liar. So yes, and also we have the bedroom to finish. So it's not much in here. I tried to keep that faux fireplace or like the fireplace surround because it is a cute object. I really like it, but it was just kind of hard to build around it. I did want to have a dresser, and to make it kind of homey, I added a handful of decorations like books and the plants. So overall, it came out quite cozy. I couldn't figure out how to do cozy with the mantle because you really need a proper space for it to look like it belongs. You know what I mean? Anyways, we have a little bit less than a minute left. And I'm only telling you that because I'm still struggling to figure out what it is that I want to say in some of these builds, or voiceovers rather. I've noticed that I stutter a lot more than I thought I did, or mumble rather. Uh, so that's a new not really skill, but realization that I've had. So here we are. I am just putting the lighting final touches outside, and we are very, very close to the very end of the build. I skip adding the toilets, apparently. That wasn't meant to happen. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you next time.
Bye bye.